Welcome back for a new season of the NEC on the Run podcast on the NEC Overtime Pod. I'm Ron Ratner with the conference, and today I'm joined by two very special guests, Mike Holloway of Fairleigh Dickinson and Sean Hoehn of Sacred Heart, two former All-Stars in this league who are now in the coaching ranks. We're going to go through their careers and what led to them coming back to their alma maters to coach. First of all, guys, thank you for joining us. It is great to reconnect with the both of you.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me, Ron.
Thank you for having me. It's been awesome being back here.
Okay, let's do a little bio on both these guys. First, we got two Jersey guys here. I'm in Central Jersey. We got a South Jersey guy. We got a North Central Jersey guy. Let's go through the bio. Let's start with Mike Holloway from South Jersey, Pittsgrove, New Jersey, Arthur P. Shalleck High School. I'm looking at some of your bio here. All NEC 2017-18, 2018-19, almost scored 1,500 points, nearly 800 rebounds, and a two-time NEC champion, won an NCAA game as well. You bookended your career with NEC titles. That's Mike. Let's go to Sean, the pride of Morristown, New Jersey, of course, Morristown High School. First team All NEC as a senior, scored over 1,360 points, third in the NEC in scoring in his final year, 185 three-pointers, great shooter, great player. So that's what we're looking at. Let's start with, actually, before we even get to that, I just wanted to bring up here, you guys played each other 8 times. Now, Sean, the Pioneers won 5 of the 8 games, but I just got to say, in doing some research here, in the last game you ever played, Mike just casually dropped 35 points on you guys, making 15 out of 19 shots, and he hit all 3 of his threes. And what was going on there that day, Mike?
Honestly, you wanna know, we lost at their place on I think they called me for a goaltend, I believe. So I had that game, the next game circled off, which was at our place. I said, I'm gonna kill him. Like I gotta, and like you said, I said I never win there. We always lose there. I was like, bro, I gotta get a win, and then I just did what I had to do.
I will say it was really annoying. I remember it very vividly too, because it was, I mean, it's not a secret that Mike wasn't his knockdown shooter, and then he just goes 3 for 3. It's like, come on, like, it's crazy.
Sean, did you ever get the pleasure of driving down the lane and getting clobbered in the paint by Mike at some point in your career?
I think everyone has, but I mean, I also there was one time this one time I got up on Mike I had 1 4-point play in my entire career playing basketball, and he was one that found me. That's the only thing I do remember is that I had 1 4-point play.
There you go. You know that Mike just wanted to shoot threes his whole career anyway and be like you, Sean.
Exactly. I had to get mine in.
All right. So we talked a little about your careers. You both had all-star careers. They mirrored each other. You both played from 2015 to 2019. Mike won 2 titles. Sean, you played for some really good teams for Coach Latina at Sacred Heart. I'll start with Mike. How would you describe your 4 years at FDU as a player?
Tremendous. I mean, just a great family atmosphere. Coach Tremendous is a great coach in my eyes. I think he brings out the best in guys. He brings out the best in me. FDU was a great experience. Like you said, I won 2 titles here. I had 2 great teams that year. Everybody we recruited and brought in were great guys. We had, like I said, just again, I reiterate, a family atmosphere here. And that's our Fairleigh Dickinson motto is family. And that's what it was. And that's why we stuck together. And I got 2 titles out of the 4 years.
What about you, Sean?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm very thankful for Coach. He obviously took a chance on me coming out of prep school. Then he took a chance on me for this job, and obviously very thankful for him just to propel my playing career and then start my coaching career. So this place is home. This is where I wouldn't want to be any other spot. Same coaching staff that when I was a player is still here coaching with me today. So playing and coaching are 2 totally different beasts, and I'm just extremely thankful for everyone I've met along the way and who I was able to have run-ins with and all the people I'm going to meet in the future.
What role did your 2 head coaches play in your development, not only as a player, but as men? Sean, I'll go with you first.
Well, from the coaching side now, like I often actually, funny you say that, on the way here, I was just thinking like, man, if I can if I'm ever a head coach one day, I want to be exactly the way Coach Tina is, how he treats people, how he treats the players, how he runs his program. That's kind of like he's my role model in that sense. When it comes to like as a player or as a man, he was always there for me. He took a chance on me my freshman year. I really wasn't supposed to play. He says I was supposed to be a 4-year backup, and he didn't have that in his mind. It wasn't like, oh, we're recruiting Sean, he's never going to play, blah blah blah. Like he let me, if Sean got better, let's play him. So he gave me a chance, and luckily I was able to run with that. And then I just kind of kept leaning on him. Whenever we had a good day, bad day, we always caught up, always talked about it, how we can make it better, how we can sustain better days. And he was just always there and has always been there. So I guess you could say, even when I was transitioning from playing in Europe to get into coaching, this spot wasn't even open. And he just took my phone call. He answered the phone call every single time I called him, and he was just helpful. He just offered his advice, his 2 cents, whatever he could.
How about you, Mike?
Just piggyback off Sean, like coaching wise, just like coach is a guy that is intense and he brings out the best in each and every one of his guys because he cares and he wants everyone to get better. And just that right there alone just is a pivotal piece in my coaching career, just seeing how he connects with each and every one of his guys in a different way. And like he said, as I grow in this business, I want to be able to do that. And you have to be able to connect with your players on and off the court and just create that bond and let them know that you're always there for them. And as a player, coach was just mentally, he just made me mentally tough and just, he taught me how to just, you can crack every barrier, never set barriers for yourself and never be satisfied. And just that drive took me to professional basketball and I persevered through both of my injuries, through just learning how to be mentally tough through coach and him just constantly pushing me and giving me the drive that I need every day. And yeah, see, he still does that now with the new set of recruits he got in of our young freshmen. He pushes them to their limits and lets them know like never be satisfied. There's no barriers or anything.
That's great. As players who were so pivotal in your programs and 4-year guys, how hard was it to give up the college game when it was finally all over for you, Sean?
Hard. That's the first word. We lost to LIU my senior year, and there's been like people like of my former teammates that still talk about it. Like I was bawling my eyes out. Like I can't even like put that into word. Like I was bawling, and it was just because you never think it's gonna come until it actually comes. And I know that's a cliche that everyone talks about, but it hit me hard. It was hard. It did help that I was able to go play again in Europe. Obviously, I didn't hang them up completely, but just a place that you call home and a place that like you want to bring a championship. And Mike was lucky enough to bring 2 to his school and the people around him. Like you want to win for these people. You don't want to just win for yourself. You want to win for your teammates. You want to win for the school, your friends. And so when it all was over, it was tough, but I could never have seen myself leaving the game. And that's kind of why I'm back here now.
But you, Mike, how did that transition go?
I mean, it was pretty like I went out obviously on a good
Went on a high.
High, exactly. I went on a high note, and then it was just like it took a while for it to hit. But like Sean said, once it did hit, after like that couple of weeks off, and just realizing that you're not going back to, you know what I mean, to be a player anymore. Like you're moving on to that next step. And like he said, I got a chance to play professionally. A couple months later, I went on to play professional basketball, and it's just like, but you still miss that where you started. You spent 4 years somewhere, and you put your all and your sweat, your blood and tears in that institution. It's just like you miss all the fun times, the good and the bad. Honestly, you miss everything. You start after a while.
So you both
were actually able to play together in that 3-on-3 though. So it was,
I was going to bring that up. So let's get to it now. So after your senior years, you played with it was you, Mike, Darnell Edge, and Ramon Saunders of Wagner played in that 3-on-3 tournament where the tournament where you throw the money in the air after you win, and the NEC team advances to the Final Four of this tournament, which I don't think anybody expected. I always said that was a really well constructed team. You had plenty of shooters and you had a really good big in there. How was that for you guys? How much did you guys bond during those few days?
Sean, you want to go first?
You go ahead, Mike.
I I thought it was a great trip, man. We got the chance to practice. We came with the game plan. The game plan was really, you put me around 3 shooters. I would rebound and just kick it back out. I think I started off the tournament as one of the best assist guys. And I couldn't believe it. But I was like, that was our game plan. Like, Mike, you rebound. I mean, you get occasional shots, but if you just kick out to the shooters, we'll win the game. And it kind of obviously it worked out for us.
So with the 3-on-3, just a little background for the listeners, it's threes are 2 and the ones are 1. So the threes are worth 50% more rather than a typical game, which is 3 and 2. So if it's 50% more, you take the 3 as much as you can. So like Mike said, our game plan was just put 3 shooters right around Mike. And if we miss, Mike will hopefully get the rebound, or if they miss, Mike will get the rebound, and we just kind of spot up and we just keep moving. I don't think it would have worked if we were just stationary catch and shoot guys.
Yeah.
Luckily, all 3 of us were able to move to get spots.
They moved.
Mike would literally get the rebound and just look, and you would just see me and Darnell, or Darnell and Ramon just moving, and you just find that shot, and it just, we made our first shots until we got to the Final Four, and then we just couldn't make it.
We're cool, man.
We were cold. It was quick.
That was a fun experience. Let's talk about your professional careers quickly here. You live in the college. It's a bubble for 4 years, essentially. You really are in that bubble. Now you're playing in Ukraine, Slovakia, Kosovo. Like, you're playing in places like that. These are not the glamour spots of playing in Europe. How hard of a life is it to be a professional on your own overseas? Like, what do the players who are going to come through it now need to know? Mike, we'll go with you first.
It's a mental battle. I'm gonna say this, and I'm confident in it. I don't know about Sean, but if you think like mental toughness is a real thing, like when you're out there, because there's none of your families there. Like, it's different. It's just you're away from everybody you know and what you're used to on an everyday basis. Like you said, even when transferring from college, you got used to going to college, and then now you 4 years there, and now you're going into a different environment again. And now you're an adult, so it's just, things are different, and you just gotta battle different battles on and off the court, just staying mentally into it and just remembering the goal, whatever goal it is that you have. You just gotta remember that and just use that as your daily motivation while you're out there.
Yeah. There's some dark days. I'm extremely thankful that I was able to do it. I'm sure Mike feels the same way, but
Yes, sir.
There's some days, like the first couple months, you're like, all right, I'm here making it, but then it just gets like around the holidays for me. I don't know about him, but it's got tougher. So I joke around with people around here.
That's when it was the worst.
Yeah, like I'm so excited for the holidays this year, because I missed the ones last year. I missed Thanksgiving. I missed Christmas. I just, not even the holiday itself, just being around family, being with your people, and just being thankful for everything. And like, you don't really, like, that's like I said, it's a mental game. Every day you have to wake up and remember why you were doing it, why I was here. Like, I'm here to like to make a living. Like, this is what I was trying to do. I'm trying to be the best player I can be. And that was an everyday thing. Where sometimes in college you might wake up, be like, all right, let's have some fun today. No, like these guys, there's 4 or 5 of my teammates were 30 with kids, and they're providing for their families. So like this, it was a totally different thing than college. Like, hey, let's have school pride. Let's win for the team. Let's win for the university. So I'm super thankful I did it. Would not change it for the world, but it was definitely a very mentally challenging spot.
Agreed.
So you both had, relatively short runs as professionals. I know, Mike, you had some injuries and stuff, and that hampered you along the way. What led you both to the path of going down the route for coaching, and what are your future goals, as a coach? We'll start with you, Mike.
Just coaching is just how I got into it. It was just from my dad. So how I really got into it was just, like you said, after the injuries, one thing led to another. Then I had my baby boy, who was 9 months now, and I started just thinking about things differently and what I want to do. Like Sean said, do I want to go overseas and restart all over from battling 2 injuries and mentally take that battle while I got a son all the way home. And that's another battle that you have to go through. And I just started thinking, and then I got a call from Coach Renda. God bless him for blessing me with opportunity. And at the right time, it's just like everything was falling right in line. Like I said, I had my son, I came off injury, my second Achilles injury at that. And that's not an injury that's easy to just come back off of. And everything just played a great part in the timeline. And Coach G gave me that call at the right time, and I wanted to be here. I love this program. And my goal here as a Knight, as an ex-Knight and a current Knight, is to win another championship. That's like the ultimate goal. That's always been my goal since I was a freshman here in 2015. It's just win championships and set the bar high for myself and the players and everyone on the staff, as we set the bar high here at FDU as a family.
How about you, Sean?
So when we graduated 2019, I was still trying to find a spot, and it just for some reason wasn't coming. So I went to a local D3 school, Drew University in New Jersey, and was a volunteer assistant. And the coach accepted me, and I was like, I love this. Like, this is like a lot of fun. And so then I told him I still want to play. So I did that 1 year, and then I got the opportunity to play, went to go play. And then when the season was over, I viewed my options. I was like, I could go back. I had a couple options to go back to Europe, or I can just start my career of being a coach. I love both, but I think that if I start now, I can get a little bit of advantage on the competition one, or like try to get a head start in my career. And this spot opportunity wasn't open for a while. And I was friendly with the guy that was in this position, and we talked almost every day, just figuring out what his next step might be, what my next step could be. And then it finally opened up. And luckily, like I said, I was talking with Coach Tina often, at least once a week, trying to just figure out how to get into it. And luckily he trusted me. I took it. He said, hey, it's going to be open. I said, Coach, this is the one I want. And he said, all right, we'll figure it out. So kind of fell into place, and I'm extremely thankful for it.
That's awesome. I should say, I don't think I said at the beginning that, Mike is serving as a GA at Fairleigh Dickinson. Sean is director of basketball ops at Sacred Heart. Now that you are on the sidelines at every practice, first of all, do you still think that you could give coach 10 good minutes if they needed you out there? How in shape are you two guys now? Are you just old men already?
Go ahead, Mike.
I try to stay in shape, man. And Coach, you never know, Coach G. He's actually done it already once, and he's like, Mike, get in there and show him. I go out there, and he had to tell me to calm down. Actually, he's like, Mike, you don't play anymore, man. We got to get these guys better. And I had to take that step back and realize that you're in a different seat now, man.
I wish I could play with these guys. We have so many guys on the team that they don't need me no more. But I have my first manager game coming up soon, so I got my extra shooting in this morning, and make sure I'm still prepared. Wind's not there, but the shot won't leave. Hopefully, the shot won't leave.
And that's what they say about the boxer, man. They always get that one last knockout in them, but they get a glass jaw as they get older, also.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's talk a bit about your two programs. We'll start with FDU. So, we had this sort of golden era of FDU hoops when you were there, Mike, and winning the 2 championships. But we've turned the page now. The Holloway, Jaleel Jenkins, Caleb Bishop, Darnell Edge era. That's done now. Now you have a youngish team, loaded with talent. I watched the team play an exhibition game. What should we expect from the Knights this year and then moving forward?
I just think we got a great, like you said, a great young core. We got athletic guys, a young athletic guy, Antoine Hill. We got P.O. in the paint. Brandon Rush had a great night last night. He shoots the ball very well. And I just think we got a great group, Devin Dunn, who can shoot it. And I think you expect us to be like we are, like who we are, offensively good. We're a lot better on defense. We got guys that buy in here. Right now, we're in our young core. I think obviously we're going to be young, like I keep saying, but I think we can do things here in the league when it's time to show up, for sure.
Agreed. Yeah, no, the team looked impressive. You have a star in Brandon Rush. So I think it'll be an exciting year at FDU as you look to, build again. Sacred Heart last year picked dead last in the poll, surprised everybody, made the tournament, finished 9-7, won all their close games, like showed a lot of heart throughout the season. Budding star in Tyler Thomas, big scorer there. Just about everybody is back. Sean, how good can Sacred Heart be this year? I mean, I think they might have been picked low based on what happened last year in the preseason poll.
Yeah, we don't really control that, so that's not on us. But nothing we can do. You can just use that as motivation. I think like you said, we're returning just about everybody, losing one or two guys that just didn't really play much. So we kind of have just our main core back. So it's one, is exciting. Two, I think we have some really good players. Like you said, Tyler, he can score the ball, and the best thing about him is that he just is always looking to improve. He understands for him to be a great player, he's got to get some of his efficiency numbers up, and he understands that. And we're working with him every day. We're working with all the other guys, and I think we have a lot of guys that could surprise some people. And I think hopefully at the team, we kind of could put it all together by the start of the season, and hopefully by conference play, we're a good team, tough team to beat.
Yeah, I know. I agree. I think Sacred Heart's got a really good shot this year at being a contender. Let's talk some NEC hoops. You guys know this league inside and out. I think personally, I've been around this league for almost 25 years now. I think there's the most talent is in this league now in at least a decade. Back in the days when, when LIU and Robert Morris and, Wagner were really good. I think a team needs to be an exceptional team this year to win it all. All these players who are taking advantage of the COVID year and coming back. How do you see the league shaping up this year, and who do you see as the favorite? Mike, we'll go to you first.
I like you said, it's a lot of talent around the league. I like what we start with the top of the league and Bryant right now, and they got a nice core they have together, and Peter Kiss and those guys over there, and I like what they got. Ratner's always a tough defensive team. It's definitely going to be a competitive league like it is every single year. And come NEC time when you got to make that cut, those teams get in there, and then that's always a battle. Those games are always good, and every team comes in, you're sharp by March, and you're ready. And the league's definitely going to be a competitive league this year. And I'm curious to see how things shape up because, like you said, you picked Sacred Heart last year. They do what they did. And that's the NEC in a nutshell, man. You never know what can happen in this league. So I think with all the talent and all the great coaches we got in here too also, just not the players. We got great coaches in this league, and I think it's going to be a very competitive league.
Agreed. What about you, Sean?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Mike worded that perfectly. We have a lot of great players, a lot of great coaches. Ton of individual talent too, which is really exciting. I kind of compare it to like my freshman year when you had guys like Ronnie Fryer, Kane Broom, like Jerome Frank, dudes like that. And so there's a lot of good talent obviously in the league this year, and I think it's gonna be exciting. I think every game, no matter what your record is, will be a battle. Obviously Bryant is going to be a juggernaut. FDU's always solid, and Wagner's returned a lot of guys. So our goal is just to be up there at the top with the top teams, and like we did last year, to squeak out some big victories whenever we can.
Yeah, I think there's a sort of a transition happening in the league. NEC has always been like, it's a guards league. You always hear that we're a guards league, but now I'm looking at these front lines. Mike, you would have to, if you were still playing, you'd have to deal with some of this now. You got the mount with, Afaram and Opoku and Malik Jefferson, like 6'8", 6'9" guys who can play, and LIU with Penn and Flowers and Isaac Conte coming in from Hofstra. And then you have teams like Wagner and Bryant who are trotting out these 6'5", 6'6" guards, 2 and 3 of them at a time. So there's more size in the league, and I think that'll probably help the league in non-conference play. I think it's a bit of a change. I mean, Mike, you probably had the only sort of really big front line back when you were playing with Caleb and Elijah and stuff. Like, how tough would it be for you now to go in and go toe to toe with some of these teams?
definitely would be a lot, I think a lot, like you said, a lot more competitive because like those guys can physically, not only mentally, like they physically match up on the court. And I think, like you said, we had that a little bit of advantage with me, Caleb, and Elijah. We had that cycle of guys who can go in there and just bang and we could shoot it a little bit. So it would be definitely a little bit different, a little bit more challenging for sure.
Sean, how tough is it if you, as a guard, when you have like your Alex Morales and your Peter Kisses, and the coach is like, yeah, you're guarding these guys, and they're like 6'5" and 6'6" and can do pretty much everything.
That's annoying, but this is just the competitive side of me. I like those because if I play good defense, or if the team plays good defense and we did a good job and we kind of like, oh wow, Sacred Heart defense or Sean had good defense. But if they score, it's like, all right, that's what they were supposed to do. So it was always frustrating whenever whenever we lost and I was guarding the leading scorer, or I remember we played LIU one time when Joel Hernandez was on the team and he went off for 30 and it was just like, all right, that was just frustrating. So we have some good guards in this league, and we always have been. And I think we have good guards at Sacred Heart now. So it's kind of preparing our own defense to go against everyone else within the league.
Great. Let me ask you last couple questions. You, as 4-year players in this conference, how would you both describe NEC hoops and your experience in the conference over those 4 seasons? Sean, we'll go with you first.
Underrated. I think a lot of the times we have some really, really good players that can honestly we can start at other spots, and I think a lot of these teams can really put a lot of these other teams in other conferences can run for their money. And so one is underrated, and 2, I think we always battle no matter what it is, no matter if it's Sacred Heart, FDU, Wagner, Bryant. We're always battling. We're always right there. Very, very few times where it's we don't perform, and I think we always got this scrappiness to us, this chip on our shoulder to us, and I think I don't anticipate that changing for this year.
The conference really was a great experience. Like Sean said, you just could get battled every night, and my experience in the league was just. It's just like you just got to come up. You got to show up every night. There's not a league where you can just turn it on and turn it off because there's no really large drop off where one team isn't as good as you have at those bigger levels where you have like the top of the top, and then the bottom guys usually don't really compete. And this is a league where 1 through 10 can get the job done each and every night. So if you don't show up, you can end up at the bottom really fast.
No, I 100% agree. Last question for each of you, one for each. First, we'll start with Mike. How satisfying was it for you to be part of that? I mentioned the word golden era for FDU hoops, winning 2 titles. What was it that made FDU and those teams so special?
It was really a blessing, man. It just like what made it special was how we all like bought into just who we play for and why we play. We knew we needed each other. We knew we can't do it this is a team sport. You can't do it by yourself. And I think once we started playing for more than just ourselves, playing for our families and in each one of our personal goals and our team goals, I think that was the key to what we did here in our quote unquote golden era here at FDU, was just buying in and realizing that we're playing for each other and something bigger than just ourselves, our institution.
It's a great answer. Sean, what makes Sacred Heart a great place to hoop and go to school?
Best. I mean, when I came on campus here, like school alone, not even basketball now, it was some cool buildings. It was nice area in Fairfield, Connecticut. And then everything's just transforming now. We built the Bobby V Center, which is just for students. They got their own rec center in there. We built so many more dorms, so many beautiful like school centers. We have the health science building that we built. We just bought the GE building for a lot of money. We just bought a golf course. So the school itself is just growing every single year, and we anticipate it to keep growing. And then for basketball, basketball feeds off how school is doing. We just want to keep growing the way the school is growing. We're always looking for things that we can do to improve this program. Our strength coach is great. Our athletic trainer is great. Our SID is great. So we're always just looking for the right people around us and looking to just grow whenever we can.
Big things happening at the heart. I love it. It is great to see all that. First of all, let me say it's been great to walk down memory lane with both of you. Definitely an honor to watch you both play for 4 years, both terrific reps of NEC basketball as 4-year players. Wishing you, of course, nothing but the best in your future as coaches. And then best of luck this season with your teams. We have Sacred Heart opening at LaSalle on Tuesday. We have FDU playing Seton Hall on Wednesday. Good luck in the non-conference seasons. Yeah, thanks for joining us. So hopefully we will get to talk again soon. Sean, we're always looking for somebody to help us in our broadcasting pursuits. Sean, if you don't know, came in and helped host the podcast last year before pre-COVID, maybe a couple of years ago. Pre-COVID, came into our studio in Somerset, New Jersey, and co-hosted the NEC on the Run weekly show with me and did a great job. So Latina got you, but if not, we would have grabbed you, right?
You got my phone number. Call me whenever you need me.
My God does it all, man. I need to get like you, Sean.
Mike, we'll have room for you too. We'll have room for everybody. We will get some ex-players. We'll have you roaming the sideline. We'll put you on the sidelines first, and then we'll move you up to the analyst role. All right. Well, thanks again, guys. We have Mike Holloway, grad assistant, basketball coach at FDU. And then Sacred Heart's Director of Operations, Sean Hoehn, great former student athletes here in the NEC. And you've been listening to the NEC on the Run podcast on the NEC Overtime Pod. Be sure to subscribe on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Stitcher. And we will see you soon again. And basketball season's here, and we're very excited. See you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.